Hi, hello everybody. I'm here at Stampers Anonymous in my office, and I'm here doing top secret stuff that I can't talk about. Top secret mission, top secret stuff, but it will be worth it. Anyway, while I was here, I just wandered up the top end of my office the other day, and I found these. Okay, if you don't know what this is, Tim Holtz, the wonderful Tim Holtz. He makes fabric. Everybody knows I adore his fabric. But this year he's done something different. It's called a palette. So every month there's going to be a different fabric coming out. And when it's gone, it's gone. This is more like a Valentine bundle. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to open that one. I'm just going to show you some of I'll just hold them up for you because you'll see them again in a minute. Look, that one's tickets. Typical Tim. Stamps. That's what I would call playing card writing. A plain, lovely roses. I'm just showing these quick because you can see them better in a minute. Street map. It's probably got something romantic written on here. I never thought to look before. Venus and Rome. Oh, it's a street map of Rome. Some lovely little florals. What are they? Vines. Sorry. Some flowers. And it wouldn't be Tim without his lines. He's also got his main one, which I haven't got anything left of. Hang on. No, I'll show you the main one in a bit. Okay, so I saw it and I was really excited and I was like, oh, I'm going to do some of my wonderful English paper piecing. We call it EPP, where you use templates. And I was like, oh, I haven't got a template because his main fabric is, I'll show you like here, you can see here, this is some from his main fabric. So I wanted to do it quite big and I thought I haven't got any templates or anything. So I was chatting to Matt, the genius who helped do my puzzle frame, and genius, and I was like, look at this, you see this acrylic template and this is what I want and maybe I'll go to a shop and he went, I can make you those, Dyan. By Jove, he did. Okay, so he made me a template and he made me papers. Now, if you don't know about it, you'll be like, what on earth is she on about? I'll show you in a minute. But he made me a template. He made me some papers for the English paper piecing. And this is what I've done in 2 days. Okay, I've done all of this. Because with it being a large template, it sews up really quickly. Now, you can see where I've still got bits to sew up and it's in a round shape at the moment. But I started here. I started with this middle one and then I attached and it sews up really, really quick. And I'm going to show you how to do it. And because he's made me one, I said, I think there's about 12, I think there's about a dozen of these sets over there. So in honor of me being here, if you buy one of these, what's it called? Do we know what it's called? It's just I think it's the Tim Red. It's called Palette. Yeah, and I just think it's it's the red one. Because once the month's gone, then they're gone. But if you buy, this is fat quarters, okay? So it's 1/4 of a yard of each of the 10. They're going to give you a template with Stampers Anonymous on and the papers to get you started. Doesn't look a lot, does it? But that's the amount I had. Because you reuse them. Because if you can see here around the outside, I've got the card in, but on the inside I haven't. So it's a special offer, but there's not many, so I would be quick. We're going to put the link above or under, I don't know. Above the video, we're going to put the link. If you're in the UK and you're like, seriously, we haven't got this colour yet, but when you're in the UK, we'll sort something for you as well, okay? But the rest of the world, you can get it from Stampers Anonymous, okay? And you can whip this up. So I'm going to show you really quickly. We're going to go overhead and I'm going to get a piece of fabric and I'm going to show you how we do it. Okay, so, pen, 1 minute. So this is called English paper piecing and it's paper piecing in the US is totally different. This was what the Victorian ladies did. And you always put a piece of paper inside to stabilise it when you were sewing. Can you see these crisp edges? They stay crisp. Oh, I keep forgetting I'm in the wrong spot. I keep thinking I'm filming my things. So they stay crisp because they've got this piece of, it's stronger than paper, but it's not as thick as card, okay? In the Victorian days, they used to use newspaper and they used to leave it in the quilts so they would be warmer, but they didn't really wash the quilts, so we don't do that nowadays. But that's what these are. So when you get the template, it's always bigger than the paper. And I'm not sure, have we got something black? Here we go. Sorry, you should be able to see it better. There we go. Can you see this etched line? That's lines etched inside. That is the size of your paper. And then this is a 3/8 of an inch turnover for your fabric, okay? He's done amazing at this, I tell you. I'm always nattering him for something. And then what that means is if you want to position it, say I particularly want this that says balance, I can take this clear plastic and I can place it on and get the balance in and then draw around it, so that when I get one of these, the balance would be right in the middle, okay? So that's what I've done on, here, sorry. The main piece. You know, I said there was a main piece that you get in there as well. And so I positioned these, so this was in the middle. Do you see what I mean? So I took the whole piece and then I positioned it like that. If it's just a plain piece like these, you don't have to do much to it at all. I think he's going to move it forward because I keep going out of shot. I'm sorry. I think it's because at home I'm a bit further over. I'm so sorry about this. This is a bit of an impromptu. I was like, hey, let's give people who buy that and then let's show them how to use it. So I'm just going to really quickly, if you've got some plainish material, for example, this, you can stack up. So you need a pen and you just lay your fabric, you'll just lay it on the fabric. You can see here where I've drawn some of the others. So I'm just going to draw around this. So if you have a plainish pattern, you can just stack them up like this. Now for that quilt so far, I used 10 of these hexagons from each fabric, and this is what I've got left. I've got more than half left. So you can make a decent sized quilt. Or if you're quite new, you could do a cushion cover. Do you call them pillow covers here? To put on the couch. We call a pillow the one in the bed, and on the couch we call it a cushion. Okay, so what I did was I drew 10 on each fabric, okay? And then you cut them out. Now I haven't got my fabric scissors here, but do you know what? These big snips of Tim's, look how beautifully they cut fabric. Normally you would not cut fabric with your craft scissors at all, but look at that. It's a really nice cut. So I'm very, very impressed because I didn't think I'd be sewing here. I have got a bit of sewing with me. I always carry a bit of sewing, but I didn't realise that I would be creating a masterpiece. But you can see, so you cut them out. So what I normally do is I spend a couple of hours drawing them all, and then I spend a couple of, an hour maybe cutting them out, and then I will put the insides in. So you can see this is what we do. So you end up, I'm going to trim the others in a minute. So you end up with all the shapes like this, and then the papers fit perfectly inside. Now I'm using, because I do a ton of this, I have more specialist products. So I'm using a Sewline pen and their glue, it's repositionable, but you can use any repositionable glue stick, or you could go to your local quilt stock show and you can buy quilt store and buy these easily. So you can see the glue is in there, and then what you do, you just line this up. You don't have to be precise, and then you just fold over the edge. See, dead easy. So you can do it while you're watching telly. I sometimes do this on my lap, or sat at desk, whichever. And I just happily, for an hour, just make loads of these. Okay, that's it. That's all you do. Now, if you're true quilter, you can go back to the old-fashioned way where you actually stitched this. You didn't use glue. You just put a stitch there, but gluing is really quick. So then you end up with lots of these. Okay, in all the different things. So I find it better to make, I normally make about 25 of these at one time. Sometimes if I'm in the mood, I'll do more, but you want lots of different ones. You don't want to do all of your little vine ones. You know, I pile them up and I'll, you know, one of this, one of this, one of this, etc. And then you're going to decide where you start. Now, I like to start, I do a little circle. You can do it in lines like this, but I do a circle. So this would be my first one, and I would sew this to the top. Then I would sew another one to the side here, and then maybe another one to, hang on, which way up is that? To the side there. Do you see what I mean? You would go round like this, and you would sew them. Now, when you've got a lot of variation, I don't plan it first. I just pick one up and sew it on. But you could plan it. So we're going to, you sew around here, okay? When you've sewn around there, you can take the paper out from in there. Then you sew up the edges. And then when you've done that, you just continue. So you'll make another circle and you'll do another circle round, and it's really, really easy to do. So I'm just going to sew this to the top of this to show you. I'm using, the thread I'm using, this is an Aurifil thread, but lots and lots of threads will work. I do like Aurifil. I also use Deco Bob. I just happen to have this in my bag at about 4 different colours. It's not the most exact colour, but it goes with everything. Just choose a colour that goes with everything, okay? And then you want a small needle. This is a James needle, number 10. They have a very small eye of the needle, okay? But again, use whatever you've got. I always say use what you've got, and if you enjoy what you're doing, then you can do more, okay? So this you can do, I've done this in the car, I've done it at the doctor's, I've done it in bed, I do it on aeroplanes, I've done it in hotels. It's so portable. So you take these two as though it was going to be there, and you flip one of them over like so. And if you're worried, you can somewhere, oh, here we go. You can take like a little clip or a peg or something like that, and you can hold it at one end. Take your thread, don't have it too long, and we're good. This is good here. So you're going to feed it through the fabric up to the top, and I do a whip stitch. There's 2 schools of thought in this. Some people put them back to back like this and do it like that. I find that really hard, so I do a whip stitch. So you start off with 3 stitches in the same spot. So 1, 2, excuse me, I'm covered in ink. I've been filming other videos. And then we do, I call this a figure of 8. I take the fabric over, twist and come back. There's loads of videos on YouTube exactly showing you. And then you just whip stitch across. You don't want to go too deep. So I'm just picking up a couple of stitches on the top. Can you see? I'm just picking a couple of stitches there. I don't normally sew with my arms up, so I'm making it look more awkward than it is. It's a lot easier. Most people put too many stitches in. You just go along. The best thing to do is when you've sewn them together, flip it over, I'll show you in a minute. And if you can see through the stitches, you haven't got enough stitches on. Okay, but it is trial and error. This is what got me hooked on quilting. I bought some little sets, a very small template little set, and started doing this, and I was just absolutely hooked. And I cannot tell you how many English paper piecing quilts I've made. I just find it so calming. I listen to my talking books when I'm doing this, and I'm just so calm, and I just find it really, really therapeutic. And the thing is, if I get broken off, I can just pop it down. It's not like if you're sewing with a machine and you've got a big quilt and you have to stop and put everything away. This just travels. I just have this little bag, and I stuff everything in this little bag, take it on the plane with me and everything. So now I'm near the end. I don't need the clip as much. So I'm just going to come to this end here, then I can show you what I mean about the stitches. Okay. When I get to the end of this line, sorry, it's just bundling up. There we go. When I get to the end of this line here, I'm going to repeat that knot I did at the beginning. Every time I join, I repeat that knot, and it'll just stop it falling apart. Or if it falls apart in one part, it won't go any further. So I'm coming up to the end. Now, some people sew the opposite way. I put the needle in towards me. I've seen people sew the opposite way. There's no right or wrong. The sewing police are really busy, so just do whatever you want. So third one, over the top, back over. So I think some people call it a knicker knot. And then you can check. So here, if you can see through the join, you haven't got enough stitches. If you have got a ridge, you've put too many, and you don't really want to be able to see the stitches. Can you see? You can see tiny, the stitches, because I've only taken a bit. So then what you would do, your next step would be to take your next one. You would fit this in here, and I would fold it here, I would clip it here, and I would continue. So I would sew along there, then sew the next, and the next, and the next, and I would just go along. When I've got that whole circle, I just pop the papers out of the middle of this one, and then I start again, and I will sew round like this, and I just go round in a circle. So I shall just go back to the one I've done, then I can show you that. It's really, really simple to do. Every now and again, if you're not concentrating, you sew something upside down, and that's when you need Jack the Ripper to come in and take it off. So if I show you here, this is where I started. This was like this little one I'm doing here. This was this. So I started there, and I did these 6 all going round, and then I sewed them down the sides here, and then I took the paper out. I'm going to take this paper, well, I'll take this end just to show you. Look, you just peel it back and you can pop it out. Oops, peel it back and then you can pop it out, and you can use these over and over and over. So you can see mine, these are, they're a little bit battered because I've taken them out, and you just use them until they drop to bits. You just use them. So I did that, and then this is my second circle going round. Oh, hang on, sorry, this is my second circle going on. Then this was my third, and then last night I sewed this end. So can you see I've sewn along, but the sides are still to do. And all I'm going to do there, again, I just flip it, put the sides like that, put the clip, sew. It's the same. Now this, because I've gone in a circle, which I find the easiest way, what I'm going to have to do to this quilt now is build up the corners. So with some that I've got left, I could do this, and I can just, there we go. Can you see? So I can build it up. Later on, what you do is you can make some half ones. So you just cut this in half. So you can make some little halves like this, and then that's how you can straighten it off. So little halves like that, and at the side, it would be halves going this way. You see? And you would straighten it off. And then you would put your batting in, you put your backing on, and that's a different video. But it's really easy. I've taught so many people to do it. And the difficulty a lot of the time is getting the things. So here we go. This could be a new line. You never know. So you've got the acrylic that you use, and you just use this over and over again, and you can reuse these over and over again, okay? So you get the whole, I'm going to retie it because I just want to show you that main one as well, because it's so lovely. I will tie it back up, I promise. I just want to show you the main, because there's always a main in every collection. There's a main. Look at this. Of course, Tim is just a genius, isn't it? This is the main in this one. Can you see? So if you take your clear, so I wanted this, so I took this, everything inside this line is in. So I did that, drew around it, cut it out. So this is your main one in here, okay? So you're going to get the whole 10 of those, 10 fat quarters. How many is this? Is it 100? I'm not sure. Ish. The papers, and you go, and these two, we're throwing them in as a special. Dyan says, so we're throwing these in future, we're going to have to pay. But anyway, you've got from now until the eve of Valentine's Day to get it. Okay, enjoy. Show me. Show the pictures so we can see. Bye.